Listen, you have in the past called for stricter gun laws. You called on Congress to ban assault weapons and put in place other gun control measures, but you think more concealed weapons is a good idea. Why is that?
More concealed weapons by good Americans who are responsible. Very different. You know, certainly here in Detroit, we have a very different situation going on here, unlike other places I've had the good fortune of working. It's no secret Detroit's violent. There's a violent culture. The criminal predators here are very violent. So good Americans who are responsible with concealed weapons can make a difference. There's studies out there that show that.
We're going to talk a little bit more about those studies, but let's just focus on Detroit for now, and then we'll get to the studies. According to your own statistics, though, there was a 7% overall reduction in crime in Detroit in 2013 without those extra guns, as you would, or concealed weapons. So clearly your department has figured out ways to deter criminals. Aren't there better ways than arming more citizens?
That's one strategy in the toolbox. I'm suggesting that while we're using statistics, our CompStat model, which has had an effect, we've seen a 7% reduction in overall crime. I'm excited about our trend downward. We've seen 52 less people murdered in the city of Detroit, 105 less people shot in the city of Detroit. I've only been here 6 months. We're trending in the right direction, but here's the bad news. We saw 333 murders for 2013 compared to New York. We're a city of 700,000.
Right.
Look, this whole thing with concealed weapons has been around in Detroit now for about 10 years.
You can get a
It's
license
a strategy.
to carry.
It can work.
You can get a license to carry in Detroit. It's been on the books for a while now, as you point out. I want to tell you what the Brady
It's been
campaign.
on the books, so this is not new.
I want to tell you what the Brady campaign, which advocates for gun control, told me today. Here's a statement they gave us, and their comments go like this: the American people know that there are better answers to violence and putting even more guns on our streets that too often wind up in the wrong hands. We are better than a nation of vigilantes like George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin because he was permitted to carry a loaded hidden gun despite an arrest record and history of violence. What's your response?
My response is we're not talking about vigilantes. We're talking about good Americans who are trained, good Americans that need personal protection. I don't care what city you talk about in America. We cannot be everywhere. Look, let me give you an example. We had a 91-year-old man just last week pulled out of his car at gunpoint, thrown in the snow, carjacked. And there's story after story. This is about personal protection. And unfortunately, I don't care if you're talking about Los Angeles, a place I spent 28 years, or in the state of Maine, the police cannot be everywhere. This is about personal protection, and in some instances, the protection of others, because we've seen our good Samaritans. We've seen them go to the aid to others because they were good Americans with concealed weapons permits. So I disagree with the statement.
Detroit Police Chief
I've
James
been
Craig.
doing this for some time.